What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, we're going to be going over my top carries for May. Let's get into it. All right, so I did specifically say top carry since I moved away from doing weekly carries because it was getting a little repetitive in some instances because some favorites kept making it in, and it was always alternating a little bit because I do carry other knives for review whether they stay in the inventory or not. So really quickly, I'm just going to go through my pouch. I am still carrying the Datacrew Wutaslide, but the loadout has changed a little bit. I have a little bit of variety going on here. Some of this is from Datacrew's website. Some of these are from some of my favorite retailers and or makers, and you can check those sites out for the pouches. I also have the EMP EDC Atom Bomb on the zipper. I need to find another pull for this one. So just real quick going through here, I still have my Mighty Hanks Harry Potter Hank in here separating everything, and also it's nice to comes in handy because I do use this to either like clean the glasses with the microfiber or just clean stuff off my hand. Still carrying the Raycon Bluetooth earbuds. I really like these a lot. I love the tactile controls on there. I did post a video up reviewing that if you're interested. What has changed in here, well, I still have the charge cable for the Raycons, but I did move back to my Dapper Design Ion titanium flashlight. I don't know what happened to the cover there, but I really like this one. I haven't charged this in 2 months, and it's still has a charge on it. Just really impressive for such a small light, and this battery has lasted forever. And as you can see, really easy to operate. The other thing that I like too is that this charge slot is the same for the Raycons and for the Dapper Design Ion, so that cable works for both. So I'm going to stick this back in here. What I've done a little bit differently with this is I am actually tagging it to the back pocket to hold it in place instead of it hanging over the front. The other thing that I have in here as an alternate is I do have my tactical keychains slide here, TK slide. This one here, you can act like a money clip, or you can put this in the fifth pocket. I love this little thing. I have used it a ton. I'm not sure how well it'll show up, but basically what you do to get it to that second slot is you put less pressure and let it slide back. And then once it's about halfway, you can push down and get it the rest of the way out. So that is locked into position. Now that I've spent some time with it, I've really gotten a handle on where to push. You put more pressure in and it slides it in, and then light pressure to slide it forward. It'll lock here in a second. And then when it does, you can just keep sliding it forward and then push down to slide it back, and that'll lock it in so that it doesn't come out. They have a ton of color options and finishes. USA made, cool little box cutter that fits in the pouch perfectly. The other thing that I have in here isn't really new. This is the CRKT tool made by Scout Tools for CRKT. It has a filler here that keeps the pocket clip in there, which is why I still have it in here. I really need to change this lanyard out. This was when it was in my red pouch. And then I have Phillips head, flathead, T6, T8 all in here. I will spare you going through all of those, and it just shares this pocket here with the only pin that really fits in here that is a clicker, and that is the Big Idea Design side click pin. My only complaint about this, it's a great size and the push click works well and the ink cartridge is great. It is a little bit of a tight tolerance there. I wish they could make that button just a little bit bigger, but the stonewash on here is really well done, and I like that pin a lot. The designers are USA, but the pin is made overseas. And then what's new in here, and it's going to kick us off into my top companion carried knives, and that is going to be my Devo Knives Pony Stout. 14C 28N black washed blade, really well done by QSP. You have micarta scales on here. I need to go up after this video and get that filler screw. Kevin did let me know that that extra screw is the filler screw there. I don't know why it just didn't come on the knife. But I need to go ahead and put that on there. Reversible deep carry fold over wire pocket clip works really well and really comfortable in hand. The blade steel is listed here on the steel of the back spacer. Really comfortable ergos. It is a little close for me with that finger if I go to the second knuckle, but if I stay around that first knuckle, I'm fine. If I try to choke up any more than that, I am really close to that blade's edge. So with a knife like this, I'm not doing too much heavy duty task. I'm kind of grabbing this to some light duty cutting, such as getting into packages, cutting loose string, and things of that nature. For a small knife, it has really smooth action. Very nice detent on it, not super strong, very snappy though, so very easy to use. So that is everything, including my number 5 in the companion carry slot, which is that Devo Stout. And we'll go ahead and get this stuff out of the way and jump into the companion carries. So the companion carries, I don't always indicate what is with the companion carry. The companion carry is always in the slot on the back of my ARC company organizers, and I'm carrying either I'm carrying a flashlight and a pen, but it's usually the AceBeam Rider X, and if it's not this one, it's probably my i3 or i5, because I have a slightly smaller variant to this, but I'm just going to use this for demonstrations purposes so that you guys can kind of see what I'm carrying with my companion carry knives. So coming in at number 4, and that's probably because like the Pony Stout and a couple others on this list were new knives that I was carrying for May, but it's going to be the WE Hyphen. The Hyphen has a 20 CV acid etched stone wash blade with a really sweet hollow grind on it, and it has this beautiful acid etched stone washed anodized finish on the handles with a really nice pocket clip, nice frame lock here with good access for a small knife like this, great thumb stud action, and again, really good edge from the factory. Now I have sharpened mine because I did chip it up a little bit, using it a little bit more than I probably should have for a companion carry knife, but I just really like this one a lot. Like the Pony Stout, this one here is kind of around that first knuckle. If I try to go any further, it is a little close to that blade's edge. So for me, it's not really a hard use heavy duty knife, but honestly, you could just kind of slide back a little bit and choke up, and it'll give you plenty of space if you do need something that's under 3 inches and you like this more of a aggressive styling, I would say, on this with the harpoon and everything on there. But it's such a good blade. And just to kind of show you how I carry this one I actually don't hook the pocket clip. I actually just dump it and slide it in there, and these two being kind of loose, you just got to be careful when you turn it upside down because they both will come out. I wish there was kind of an in-between size, but I might go back and just get the smaller black one for the companion carries because that works really well. Now, after the Hyphen is going to be a knife that I picked up late in May, but I really was blown away when I checked this one out in the pass around. This is the Jack Wolf Knives Venom Jack. I really like this blade shape. It's very utilitarian, nice flat edge here for lots of cutting, really thin hollow grind. I love the way the handle shape is because it allows it for even a slender knife for that pinky and ring finger to have a lot more real estate to grab onto. So when you are going into packages, or if you are using the pinch cut, it's really nice because you can actually put your fingers all the way around there and do the pinch cuts. And then same thing with the draw cuts. You can move your whole fingers, your whole hand back with the fingers on that purchase, and then you can do your draw cuts, utility cuts, and things of that nature. I really like the walk and talk on these. And I hope that there's a maintenance video up on this one, but it may not be yet because I overviewed the pass round from Lefty EDC's group, which had the beautiful Mycarta on there. I don't know what Mycarta is, but that sounds like a really nice girl's name. But the Mycarta was really nice. This one here, a little bit of worn marks on here or usage marks on here, but I like that gold dark matter scale overlay here. I do like the red one too. I kind of wish I had that as well, but this one definitely my favorite Jack Wolf knife. Now what beat that one out is going to be one that sits in the blue organizer with the tactile pin, the mini side click. I think that has the i3T EOS in it, if I recall correctly. Anyway, the knife is going to be the QSP Hedgehog. Also really good walk and talk on this one. Really love this blade shape. Nice hollow ground. Really nice factory edge too. I have stropped it up because I've used it a lot. I love the jigging on here. Looks like a bone jigging, really comfortable in hand. This one also has really good purchase for a large hand. I hang off the back a little bit, but with, you know, that's without choking up. That's kind of in the natural position. And the M390 on here seems to be really well treated. It's holding an edge a long time. Now, I'm not breaking down a ton of boxes with these slip joints. This is mostly for opening things, cutting away at things like string, zip ties, anything that might hold a package together. And again, that walk and talk. Pretty good for the price point, but this premium material version of it is really, really nice, and I like this a lot. Now, the number one is one that actually could flex into a primary carry or a secondary carry. It's just I so happen to enjoy it as a companion carry, and that is going to be my Sharp by Design Mini Tempest. This is made by Riot. Really clean lines. You have nothing sticking up or underneath with no flipper tabs, thumb studs, anything like that. You just have the fuller here. A little hard to get to for me with the big hands, but once I remember where to go, I can flip it open just fine. Has good jimping for the front flipper. Beautiful blue dark matter scales on here. I just love the way that the dark matter plays with the lights. I did just lightly anodize. Well, I anodized to match to the blue dark matter in here, these little tiny hardware pieces just to accent it a little bit. I didn't quite want to do the pivot because I think it's really clean this way. I did throw skiffs in here. I also threw skiffs in the hyphen, but I forgot to mention that. Great action. Really love the way that the detent nub sounds when you open it from either way. It has like a click when it breaks, and just really smooth action. And again, this does fit down in there really nicely. So those are my top 5 for companion carries. Let's jump into my main carries for the month of May. Kicking it off is going to be a knife that I picked up on pre-order from Devo Knives. So I have 2 Devo knives on these lists today with the Pony Stout and the Buzz. I really like this one. This one here has definitely become my favorite. I liked the mash a lot. I still like the mash. I have it. It's sitting right over there in the knife case, but it didn't make it into the top 5, unfortunately. I thought I would do bottom 5 or top 5 companion carries being like 10 through 6, even though it's 5. And then 5 through 1 is going to be the ones that I main carried. This one here, it's a little on the tight side for me, but I do clear, which is great. And I have plenty of space in the back. Really well done hollow grind from Bestech. I love the finish on here. The edge is really great from the factory. I went ahead and added the Lynch Northwest deep carry pocket clip, and then I did I think this is 100 volts on my DC power supply. Looks like I've scratched this already, which is no surprise there. And I don't know why I keep having an issue with the pivot collar or the DK pivot. I might just switch over to the regular one. That way I don't have to worry about lining it up. But it is slightly curved, but it hasn't moved since I got it there, so I just leave it alone. Really nice access to that opening hole. Nice detent on here. I was initially trying to use this like a front flipper and hitting it here, and it was tearing my thumb up. That's when I realized you just got to really go straight on the top of the top flipper. Duh. And it flies right open, and it sounds great too. Love that sound. Almost got a ting. Can't quite get it to do it now, of course, on camera, but sometimes I get a ting from it. Reverse flick works good, and I can even get in here okay for that thumb flick. Check that out. Really like this one a lot. Nice and centered. It has remained centered. Hard to get this to show up with the black, but just a great blade shape. Really good knife size, and I like that one a lot. That's number 5 on the list. Coming in at number 4 of my top carried knives for May, it's going to be a duo. That is going to be the EMP EDC Relative. I have the clip point in 20 CV, and I had pre-ordered the drop point with the LMAX, and I got the tucks on that so that it was a different blade shape and different colorway. And I really love the way that the bronze on here pops on the polished parts. Really pops and jumps. And then the stone washing on here looks really good, nicely muted. I think it complements each other really well. I love the ribbing on here. It makes it so good for comfort, but also so that you have something to hold on to with good grip. And that jimping is really nice for the thumb. And this drop point blade shape is really good for utility draw cuts. You don't have to get up really high. And then the compound grind on this one, there is no line like there is on the clip point. On the clip point, I haven't sharpened it yet, and I'm probably just going to sharpen it out. But you do have a little bit of an acute stop here where the line comes back, but I probably will end up just sharpening through that. Now, I have not had the Tux variant with the Elmex as long, so the clip point 20 CV is a little bit smoother, and I feel like the detent on it also is a little bit, just a hair crisper, and that probably could be that once this one breaks in, as you can see, it's a little bit more shaking for that one. But I think as that Tux one breaks in, I probably can just tune up the lock bar, and you can see that one wants to go home way easier with as many shakes. Maybe not. Yeah, it comes down a little bit further with a more of a pronounced drop. Yeah, I just feel like this one is broken in more because I've had it longer. But these are really nice. I love the thickness on here. I love the pocket clips on these two. I love the Silver Fox. I don't know what else to call it. And it's all, I just appreciate the way these two look, even though they're not that different as far as the design, but just the way the black and the gold completely, to me, transforms the knife from the silver. But I really like that a lot. Front flipper on both work really well. I did talk to Casey a little bit. I noticed when Casey does his front flips, he's using his palm and his fingers to kind of sandwich and hang on to the pocket clip, and he's opening it like this, which is why I feel like he struggles a little bit. Now, his justification for doing it that way is because it's faster to get to this, but I feel like even if you use my technique of kind of using the top of your palm, let me put this knife down, the top of your palm, and then using the same method with your fingers in the pocket clip, it's easier to open. And I feel like it's more confident than it is when you're trying to sandwich it like that and open it. And you may, you're having to like do your wrists and everything to get that to open. For me, it's easier to snap it open like that. And it's almost the same amount of movement to get it in position from here to here, from here to here. You're still having to roll the knife open. And again, for the front flipper, it's more of a just additional deployment fidget factor for me. But I did want to cover that briefly because we had this conversation not too long ago. And I don't know if he'll see this video, but I did want to kind of explain why I think it's better to, instead of going palm and trying to flip it open, which feels a little unsettling, this feels way more confident for me. And with this ribbing on the EMP EDC, which was the whole point of this conversation, it adds traction here. So I feel like I'm holding on to the knife with much more secure ergonomics. But these were the number 4 carried knives for me for the month of May. Going into number 3, which is probably not going to surprise anybody, this is going to be the Quiet Carry 9 with my BGM reground blade. Beautiful flat grind on this one. I love the black micarta on the silver. I think it's a beautiful complementary accent on here. I love the jimping. It's really nice, and the micarta looks really good in person. It's kind of, you have to move it around to get it to show up in the lighting for the camera here. And then you do have micro milling going on right here, and even on the actual body itself, you have micro milling going through the body of the knife. Beautiful stonewash, very minimal knockout up at the top and underneath, which gives this really good snappy action. Great sounds. You can reverse flick this. It has gotten smoother as it's broken in. It has remained centered. I did have to Loctite this one a little bit. No play. I think it has to do with the smaller pivots on these, and then the threads are not as long, so they tend to be able to come out kind of easy. So a little bit of thread locker helps keep that from coming out. Really nice ergos. This one here could easily flex into a gentleman's carry for me. I feel like it has such clean lines to it, but the stubbiness of it or the thickness of it for me make it super comfortable ergonomically, which I really do appreciate a lot. But this one, along with the Relative, has been in a lot of videos. I spent a little bit more time on the Relative because I did want to hit on a couple of points. But let's go ahead and keep it moving because we're at number 2 on the list, and that is going to be the CJRB Echo. I have one variant of each of these. I wanted to get micarta and I wanted to get carbon fiber. I wanted to check out the button lock and I wanted to check out the liner lock. And even to this day, if you ask me to choose between the two of these, which one I prefer, I don't know that I could decide. I love the fidgetiness of the button lock. It has a decent detent to it. I would even call it a good detent for a button lock knife. I have no issues with deployment. I really don't fail, but it doesn't feel crispy, but that fidget factor is there. The other thing that I like about the button lock is that it doesn't have the cutout necessary for the lock bar access, so it does feel a little bit more full in hand. The stonewash on both these models are beautifully done. The edge on the AR RPM9 from the factory was really good. Is that a chip or is that tape? Hard to tell. Might be, it might just be tape because it looks like it's starting to come away. So I'll use a cloth and clean it properly. And they do reverse the pocket clip, ceramic bearings. I think it was on nylon washers for these. Good weight to them. The micarta variant with the liner lock is a little bit lighter, and that's because instead of full steel liners, it has nested liners in here, which they can accomplish because it is a liner lock. The access to the lock bar was a little tight for me, so I did take the scale off and I did work it down a little bit, just a little bit to a skosh. I was going to say a skosh, just to get in to that lock bar a little bit better, and I still left plenty of space. Hard to get that to show up on camera because it wants to focus on the finger. Hold on, let me do this and see if it'll let you. Nope, won't let you do that. So it's, oh, there you go, just above. You see I have just a little bit of micarta left above the top of the scale here, or top of the liner rather. So just a little bit more access. Now, because of that, whoops, I hit my index finger when I was flipping that out. I had it too close. Because of that, I will say that it does feel a little bit, just a little bit skinnier right here, like it's closer together to my palm. So it feels a little skinnier there. But the thing that I do like about the nested liner of the micarta is they contoured it. So they made it feel a little bit chunkier. So it does kind of push away from the palm more, making it feel like there's more real estate there because the fingers are now being pushed out because of the thickness. Ever so slight, I know, but it does make a little bit of a difference. The other thing that I want to mention, I love the fact that these are full carbon fiber. When I took them off to do the disassembly and maintenance, you could actually see the fibers on the other side of the scale. So it's not, I thought it was originally just a G10 with a laminated carbon fiber over top, but when you take these scales off, you can actually see the weave on the other side of the scale as well. It's just, there's no laminate on top of the carbon fiber to give it that smooth texturing. On the bottom, you feel the raw carbon fiber. The micarta, though, is so well done on here that I wish I would have gotten the button lock in the micarta. I didn't realize how much I was going to like this micarta. It is smooth but tacky. So when you're gripping it, it feels really good. And as you holding it longer, when I was doing repeated cuts and my hands started to get a little moisture build up, it was really tacky. So I liked that a lot. But these were the second most carried knives in May. Ray Lacana co-designed Echo from CJRB with the AR RPM9. I like this so much that I actually would upgrade from this to a titanium S35N, S90V, whatever it is that they would do with this blade steel. I would get the premium variant and it probably would find a permanent home in my inventory. That's how much I love this design. Really comfortable to use, great fidget factor, and really nice looking in my opinion. Number one, since we're running so long on this video, it won't take very long to go through this one. it's going to be the Koenig Arius. This was a grail. I traded a bunch of knives to get an AD20 that I upgraded to titanium scale, skiffs, lynch clip. I really loved that knife, but when I was able to move it to cover the cost for the Koenig Arius, which was another grail of mine, I decided to go ahead and get this one. I do miss my 20S, but because I have the 20.5, I feel like I still have a compact variant of that knife in my inventory that I really like how I have that one set up. But this one's really, really well done. Very nice. The pattern on here is cool because it changes throughout. You have nice clean lines going across where the pattern shifts. You have beautiful hardware on here that was easy to anodize blue that I think just gives such a great accent and such a great pop of color to this particular variant. Really smooth action, well done finishes, really tight tolerances. I love how you have the raw finish up here, but then you have that stone wash that is on the bottom of this. I mean, you have to really spend time to come back and do that to get it to look right. Great factory edge. I don't cut a ton with this one, but I do use it. I've opened things. I have not broken down any boxes though. I'll be completely honest. Haven't quite done that with this one, but I really like it a lot. So going back through the list, we have at number 1, the Koenig Arius. At number 2, we have the CJRB Echoes. Number 3 is going to be the Quiet Carry 9, which was a gift from the wife. I think I forgot to mention that. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the EMP EDC Relatives. Sorry, this is getting a little tight in here, guys. And then coming in at number 5 for my main carry is going to be the Devo Buzz. Let me know what you think about everything that I've carried, both the companion carries and my main carries. I love to see what you guys think about what I'm carrying, and if you like it, if you have a variant of it or you're chasing it. That's always interesting to me, but what's also interesting is letting me know what you are really enjoying carrying the most and what you carried the most in May, or even if you just want to tell me what you got new that's in your pocket that you're excited about. I love to hear that stuff in the comments. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to everyone out there for leaving likes, commenting, and being subscribed. I appreciate all the support and I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.